10 learners. We continue with our section of rate. Today's concept is distance and time rates. Okay, when we talk about the distance and time rates, we are talking about the rates charged per distance covered over a period of time. To calculate the distance time rate, we must know the duration spent traveling and the distance which was covered. So, for us to calculate the rates, we say the time is important and the distance. So these are the two most important aspects that we will be focusing on. Hence, we say this is distance and time rates. So now, to calculate basically this rate, we will be calculating the speed. And for us to calculate the speed, to help you to work with this with ease, we say speed equals distance divided by the time. So this is the formula that you will be using as we will be calculating. But this formula will always be given to you so that you don't have to worry and you don't have to memorize it. So the unit to measure the speed of a car is kilometers per hour, mainly because I hope you remember the meaning of the word per. That I said per can be used as divide. The unit for distance that we will use is kilometers. And the unit for the time that we will use is hour. Therefore, if we write it in terms of the rates, we can write it as kilometer per hour. So that is your unit for the speed, which is the distance and time rate. Let us have a look at this example. Busi has traveled for 4 hours from Pretoria to Durban. So now we have the time. Our time is 4 hours. And then the other thing, determine the rate at which he was driving. So now when we say determine the rate at which he was driving, implication is that we say determine the speed, because remember, I said the rate, when we talk about the relationship between the distance and time rates, will be the speed. So the rate that you need to calculate is then the speed. So now speed is what needs to be calculated. And then what is given is that she was driving the distance now is 386 kilometers. So it is so important for you to check this. As we say, we are going to measure time in hours. We are going to measure distance in kilometers. Just make sure that before you calculate, you convert your time to hours if it's not converted. And your distance is always converted to kilometers as well. So now let us have a look at the solution. To calculate the speed, we say we use the formula distance over time. The distance that we have is 386. The time is 4. We can as well press the calculator together. 386 divided by 4, we get 96.5 kilometers per hour. So once more, in terms of these rates, we don't round off unless if it is stated, if the question requires you to round off. Let us move to the next question. Silo was traveling at an average speed of 80 kilometers per hour, and he has traveled for 1.5 hours. Determine the distance he has covered. Now you can see that now the speed is given. The question now is to calculate the distance. You are being given the formula distance equals speed multiplied by time. I would like to say always before you can do your calculation, just try to analyze, simplify this context which has been given to you. So the speed is given, we write speed, and then you write that the speed is 80 kilometers per hour. And then it is given that the time, take note that in most cases the examiner does not tell you that this is the time. But when you read the context, you can tell that that is the time. So if you are given the time, make sure that you analyze and write it as time. And the time that is given is 1.5 hours. So now let us have a look at how are we supposed to solve this. Okay, the first thing is to convert your 1.5 hour to be one value. So we say that now, looking at our time, we will have 1 hour plus 0.5 hours. Remember, half it's 0.5. You can as well press half on your calculator. 1 divided by 2, you will get 0.5. So your hours is 0.5 plus 1 hour. Then the total hours that we are having is 1.5 hours. Then because we are given the formula to calculate the distance, we will then say distance equals, the formula is given as speed multiplied by time. Our speed is 80 kilometers per hour. Multiplied by the time is 1.5 hours. So let's press the calculator together. Then we will have 80 divided by 1.5. Then we say the distance that she has covered will then be 53.33. You can see your answer is recurring. But if it wasn't recurring, the examiner would advise you to round it off. So now we can leave it as 53.33. Now I want to address the issue of unit. Remember that I said to you, when we say kilometers per hour, it's like it's kilometer divided by hour. So if it is divided by hour and then it's multiplied by the hour, then these two will cancel. Then the unit which is remaining is then kilometers. So now the distance that he has covered is then 53.33 kilometers. Now I want you to just have a glass of water and then just relax for a few minutes. I will see you after a break.